Hello, sunshine. This is Shauna, also known as CreativeStitchNDiva, and you are listening to Chronicles of a Crochet Diva podcast. Enjoy.
Hello, how art thou? Hey, sunshines, how art thou? I am trying to get it together and make this happen because, to be honest with you, I'm tired. I'm so tired. And that is so serious tired. Like, so serious tired. But I hope you guys are having a great weekend. I know this is a holiday weekend, and I am doing absolutely nothing but work. I don't even know anybody if they even asked me to go anywhere. I don't even know if they did or not. I doubt very much they asked me to go anywhere. Plus, in my area, it's rainy, and nobody wants to go out in the rain. There's no cookouts or anything. So, yeah, I didn't do absolutely anything but work. Work, 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 work. So, I'm doing a graph in now, which is, I should be finished like tomorrow. So, that took me like 4 days to complete. Tomorrow will be 5 days, but yeah, so I hope you all had a great weekend. Last Sunday my son graduated from college, so I was not a part of anything but his festivities. And then that next day he had to move back home. He's home. So if my internet acts up, it's his fault. It's his, because he's juicing it with that game. And of course he comes in from out the street when I go live, and he's using the game now. So that's, yeah. You think when they graduate, it go. It don't work like that. It don't work like that. I kind of thought it did, but it didn't. So anyway, I wanted to talk deep today. I wanted to be deep. I wanted to go back into where I was and back in the days before I decided to do a business. And when I said that I wanted to do a business and I can do it, and I was like, I'm gonna make it happen, and I'm gonna, like, I'm telling everybody I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that, and then it didn't happen. So I'm gonna explain to you that how did I find out that I was sick and tired? What was the signs? And my family, how did they react? And so on and so on and so on. And then how did I get past that and through so that I can be able to do the business that I have today and my family to be stable? Because we're stable, like so stable. Like if anything happens and it's an emergency or whatever, I can actually say I'm actually ready. Whereas back in the days, I wasn't ready at all. So way back yonder, before I even knew how to crochet, I never knew I was depressed. I never, ever, ever knew that I was struggling mentally. Now I knew financially, I knew physically, but I didn't know mentally. And I think that was because my mind was so focused on just going. My mind was focused on going and making things happen, try to make the money, try to go to work, make sure the kids are good, and I didn't have time to think. I didn't have time to realize that this roller coaster that I'm going through, the ups and the downs in my life, the crying, the tiredness, all of these things that I was going through, I didn't realize that it was mentally draining. And I didn't realize that it could cause like mental stress, not necessarily physical stress, but mental stress. I didn't realize how that can hinder your life dramatically. Like it did a whole topsy-turvy situation in my life. So I always try to tell people it doesn't matter. Money doesn't matter. Everybody wants to do a business because they want to be able to be their own boss and make money. I had to learn that it's not about that money. It's not. I mean, yeah, we need money to make to pay bills and whatever. But I had to realize that I was chasing the money, chasing the bag. And that's what we grow up to believe, that we have to chase the money and chase the bag. And that's what songs play. And that's what we talk about all the time, is chasing the money, chasing the money, chasing the money. Well, I chased the money. And guess what? The money was there, but this wasn't. Mentally, I would I didn't realize that mentally I was tapped out. So I'm a go-getter. I am in the past when I first started, working, I was a nurse, and I would work in hospitals, doctor's office, doing procedures, giving out medicines, doing all types of stuff. Then I realized it was too much for me. So then I started doing phlebotomy. When I did the phlebotomy, they in LabCorp, you have to work there for a year or more in order to be in charge of the whole facility. I worked there for 6 months, but I worked there and bust my ass. And after 6 months, they gave me the spot to take over the whole entire facility. So I took over the facility, and I just knew I was the ish. I just knew I was the ish. I was the boss. Okay. So it also was on me. Anything that happened in that facility was on me. So I had to take up way more hours to make sure my reports was good, because it wasn't just about drawing blood. It was about paperwork and making sure your employees do what they needed to do. And I had, at that time, it was one of the highest volume patient service centers. So it was very hard on me. And then I had to go out to like monthly meetings, like hours and hours away. So it was stressful. I got pregnant with my little one. And I think after I had him, it was even more stressful, because I didn't realize I was going through some type of depression after I had him, and he was sick. So he was like 2 or 3 months, and he stopped breathing in his crib. Something made me get up. Something made me go over to him, and I realized like his lips were changing a different color, and I had to, like, when I touched him, he went like that, like gasping for air, and he was, like I said, only like 2, 3 months old. Went to the hospital. We took him to the hospital, and they said that he had sleep apnea, and there was some other things going on, so they had to stick a tube down his throat, and they had to do a lot of tests on him, and realize that when he sleep, his heart stopped. He had a hole in his heart. It was just a lot. It was a lot. And when I went, as I was going through that, everybody kept saying, "How are you dealing with this? And how are you going through?" And I'm like, it's because I have to. And a lot of people think that it's hard to explain, because people say you're Shira, you're a hero, you're my hero, you're a warrior, you're this, you're that. But it's almost like when you're being dealt with these things, you have no other choice but to move. You have no other choice but to slash all of that and keep and combat it and keep it going and keep it moving. So it's like, even though I'm flesh, I felt like I had an armor around me as I walked through life, because I had no choice. There was no choice in the matter. It wasn't that I could say, I want my son to be better. I want to go back to work. I want to do this. I want to do that. It didn't work like that. I had to go through these motions the best way I knew how. And then I realized later on, the best way I knew how was survival mode, and it was not the best way to move on. So that was my past, right? Did I learn from that when I went through that when my son was 3 months old and I had to go through survival mode? I don't think I did. I think I started living through habit and being complacent, because I felt like if I move out of step, at least I know where I'm going this way. If I had to go right or left, I didn't know what the outcome was going to be. So I stayed there, even though I knew certain things I need to stop, certain things I need to fix, certain things people I need to get rid of. I didn't want to do that because I felt like I would be too scared to allow that to happen. So because I was scared and because I didn't want change, I allowed the chaos to keep happening. So the chaos kept happening. After 6 months, my son got better and I was able to go back to work. By this time, I went 3 months without pay. So when you go 3 months without pay, bills are not being paid. Now, I had a car insurance, car payment. Of course you have rent. Of course you have your gas, your electric, cable bill. Then I also had an older son. Like all these things were in place, whereas before I was handling it like a pro, never had to worry about anything. Excellent credit, excellent excellent I thought at the time excellent life. I thought everything was good, being a nurse and making good money, and I had a townhouse. We was by the beach, by the shore. Like, who couldn't ask for anything better, right? Well, it did not matter. None of that. Money, car, house, by the beach, none of it mattered because my brain was doing a lot of upside down, topsy-turvy stuff, but I didn't know it. I didn't realize it. I knew something was going on, but I didn't realize where I was going. I started becoming tired, and I started to be in a place of darkness because my significant other, my child's father, I noticed he started moving differently. He started doing certain things that I knew was not good, but I allowed these things to happen. So because I allowed these things to happen, we eventually lost the house. Thank God at the time I still had my car, so I was able to get around, but we was in a hotel 3 months, going from hotel to hotel. And when how I did it was just absolutely insane because I was able to finagle Priceline.com so that I can be able to get a room, which is with the kitchen and everything, for only 35, 40 bucks. I don't even know how to do that anymore. That's the crazy thing. But I was able to do that. So we were able to go to these hotels and stay there for $40 a day. And it was tiring. And then I had an older son, and then I have a baby. The oldest son couldn't even come to the room, so he had to stay at a neighbor house. It was just a mess, a whole mess. We were homeless, living in a hotel, and meanwhile, I'm a nurse. It just made no sense. They don't give you any help. At the time, I needed help, but I didn't realize it wasn't just financial help. It was mental. I didn't realize at that time. I went to the shelter after we stayed at the hotel. By this time, 6 months. My funds that I saved started to deplete. I didn't have any more money left in my account because I wasn't working all the time. I was taking a lot of days off because I was feeling sick and passing out, and it was just so much going on that I lost my job. I had to leave my job. And then I lost my car, and we wound up going to a shelter. So it's like, how do you end up with the dream job that you wanted, the money, the kids, the car, the house, like, and then all of it was wiped away, and you in a shelter. I couldn't process that. I couldn't process the fact that I went from all of this to that. And I'm also the type of person that has so many people relying on me. These little people relying on me. I had a significant other relying on me. How do you have all these people relying on you and you're breaking? You are literally breaking. And I honestly did not realize I was breaking. I was tired. I was tired because I've been working since I was 14 years old. And I went straight from high school. I went straight to high school into the what after high school I went straight to college. Then I went to take the program for the nursing program. Before that I did MA, medical assistant schools, then the LPN. Like I just went straight into school, and then after school then I went to another school, and then after that school I went for my license, and then after that I went into straight into my internship, and from my internship I went into a job, and then I had the job, and then I went and got another job. So I had two jobs. I had a night job and a day job. It was just so much on me, and I went through that since I was 14 years old. So by the time I turned 30, I was tired. And remember, if you follow me, in between there I had breast cancer. So before I had my youngest son and my oldest was 5, I had breast cancer. So when I had the breast cancer, I thought that all I had to do was turn to a different city. So I left Jersey City, I went to the shore, and that's when I thought everything was beautiful. It did not work out that way at all. So I'm gonna fast forward to the last 5 years. That's when I caught my after all of this crap. 5 years ago is when I had basically had the breakdown. The breakdown that I had, I don't know if anybody should go through that to realize that you are special, and that you deserve more, and that you can do more. I don't think anyone should have to break down like that, but I did because no one was really telling me this. No one was saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, Gayla, congratulations, you are in the Diva squad." I turned off the comments. I'm sorry. I just wanted to be focused on my story. But I looked down and I see Gayla. Welcome to the Divas Mentees. Yeah, so I just wanted to live a good life and be happy with my boys. And it didn't work out like that. I became tired to the point where I broke down when I found a spot. It was not the spot I wanted. It was in a piece of a dump in a hole with roaches and stuff like that. I just, it was just the worst, but I had no other choice, you know? And I had to get some type of assistance, some help. And I went into this apartment. I was excited because I'm like, okay, I can start all over and I can do this again. And I found myself breaking again because it was just so much going on. And I wound up being homeless again. But this time it wasn't because I didn't pay any bills or I couldn't pay any bills. It was more so of the system. So let me tell you, the system, the government, assistance like cash assistance, welfare, TANF, that is supposed to help you. Now, I was always told you should not be ashamed to go on welfare because we're paying into welfare, right? We're paying when we work. Since I worked 14 years old up until that very point when I needed the extra help, I was supposed to get that help because I paid into it. And then it's supposed to be temporary. Get on your feet and move on, right? Well, it's hard to do that when they put you in a damned if you do, damned if you don't type of situation. So that's what I was at. I was in a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. They make you go to appointments every single month because they want to make sure that you are following this protocol and following that. The crazy thing is I had to start applying for disability because I found myself breaking. I was always in pain. I didn't know that I had an autoimmune disorder, but I did. But I didn't know at this time. So I knew something was wrong. I just didn't know what. I had no idea what was going on with me. I just knew something. And I'm telling them that's not what they cared about, though. Their thing was, you got a job? Are you in school? And I'm like, but I can't. I'm telling you, I had to leave my job because I was passing out. Something is wrong. Oh, well, we're not doctors, but you need to show us proof that you're doing this. And so it was like the place that was supposed to help you so that you could get to the next step is what really got me to break. I'm not going to say tortured me, but I felt tortured. I felt like the people did not want to work in that job, and I felt like they was coming out of their own pocket to help me. When I went in there, I would go in there like smiling, and even though I didn't want to go there, I would try to be joyful and pleasant because I would want somebody to treat me like that if I was in that position. So, sometimes I would bring something, donuts, coffee for my caseworker, and I didn't always have the best caseworkers, and they was always changing and rotating, and then they would have different supervisors. So it got to the point where they used to have one caseworker that you spoke to that knew your situation and knew your story and be able to help you better. They changed it so that you had different. They rotated. So once you start to get to know who your caseworker is, they changed to another person. And when that happened, that caused me to have to keep saying, well, I can't work because X, Y, and Z. I had breast cancer and I'm still going through the motions of the chemo and this. You had to keep explaining that to every last caseworker. And some of them understood, some of them didn't understand, some of them didn't really care. It wasn't their concern. Their concern is, did you do this? Did you do that? I need this. So the issue I had with that last apartment was that they would tell me to bring every single appointment. Again, I had to go every single month. And there's days I was in pain. A day like this that's raining, I'm in pain, a lot of pain. Sometimes I couldn't move. So if I call and say, can I reschedule? Sometimes they use that against you. Sometimes they didn't, depending on who it was. So if I missed an appointment and they'd be like, well, you need to come on this day. And if you don't come on this day, we cutting you off. I had to go through stuff like that. Meanwhile, in my documents, it says client is applying for disability. Client has this going on and that going on. They didn't care. That wasn't their problem. All they cared was getting this paperwork into their supervisor so their supervisor could sign off and they could move on to the next one. And I was caught in a lot of bad situations. So I got accustomed to what I had to provide every single time. But when they change a caseworker, the next caseworker may not ask for what the other caseworker wanted. They might ask for something different. Meanwhile, if you ask for something different, I got to go provide that. Sometimes I could, sometimes I couldn't. They would ask for a doctor's note. I will go to the doctor. Sometimes it takes 2-3 weeks for me to get the doctor's note. They don't care about that. They just want it right then and there. So what do? They stop your rent. They stop it until you get that paper. It was a whole cycle for years and years and years and years that I had to go through this. So it makes people not want to keep going and try to pursue the disability route, because the disability route is stressful and you're basically working on bare minimum. I was making $4,000 to $4,500 a month, and I went from that to only getting $422 a month. So $4,500 a month to $4,222. No, it was $422. Yeah, $422 1 month. That's what I was getting in 1 month. So I had to adjust my life to getting that. Yeah, I got food stamps. I got $500 in food stamps. My rent was like 200 and something at the time. So people were like, oh, I wish my rent was this. I wish my rent was that. Yeah, but when I had to pay that 200 and something dollars, I paid it that month and I was happy and I celebrated for the next 30 days. But then once the 25th happened, I'm worried again. Am I going to have another 30 days? And what else do I have to do? And I had to go through this for 6 years. So imagine how this can keep impacting your brain, your health. I'm already saying I'm sick. I'm already saying something is wrong. So it just kept happening over and over and over and over to the point where it was times I couldn't walk and I didn't know how. How was this happening? How can I not get out my bed? How can I not go one room over to the bathroom? How can I not cook for my kids? How can I not go to the store? Yeah, because I allowed myself to get to 350 pounds. So when I got to the 350 pounds, to get up out my bed, I had an asthma attack. It was times I would lay in my bed and I could not breathe because it was just too hard to breathe. And I didn't know what to do. Like if I tell my doctor, the first thing they say is lose weight, exercise. I get that. But tell me something. How can a person who's already going through the motion of not being able to move, it's hard for them to go to the bathroom. It's painful to go to the bathroom. It's painful to even get up. How can you tell that person to exercise, to lose weight, when I think it was way more than physical by that point? It was mental. And that's when I knew it was way more than I thought. And it got to the point where I was making myself sick, like so sick to the point where I would sleep for days. I would feel nauseous. I would have vertigo. I would have so much going on in my body that it would break down on me. And when I mean break down, like I couldn't get up. I remember one time, we had to get the cable fixed. I think I had Dish at the time, and you know how sometimes the dish gets off and they have to come and fix stuff. So we had Dish, and the guy came to fix it. I couldn't open up the door. I couldn't. I heard the door. At the time, my significant other was here, and he would open up the door. He let him in. I hear them. I could hear them talking, but I'm so out of it. I couldn't move. I couldn't get up. And I'm hearing them talk about the whole cable. And he's asking me, Shauna, what else happened? Shauna, what do this mean? Shauna. And I couldn't talk. And the guy is just staring at me like, why the hell is she just laying there on the bed like that? And I could see him. But I couldn't move. I couldn't get up. Couldn't move my. And the thing about it is, if you're going to have a significant other, you want that significant other to be like, girl, what's wrong with you? You got to get up. You got to do this. And if you can't, okay, do you need to see the doctor? He didn't do that. He didn't do that. He let me lay there. And then the next day, I was still out of it. I was able to get up, but I was still out of it. I couldn't move. I couldn't get up. I may be able to wake up for like maybe an hour, maybe two, and then go back to sleep. He went to work that next day, knowing this is how I am. Came home that night, had the nerve to get mad at me because dinner wasn't done. Don't you realize something is wrong? Something is really wrong with me, and I don't know. I don't know what it is. I found out later that I had RA, rheumatoid arthritis, and the first thing that people think when you say, "Oh, I have RA," well, I say RA, but when you tell someone you have rheumatoid arthritis, their thing is, "I do too. I have it too. I have it in my finger. Oh, I get it in my leg. Oh, I have it. I have it in my back." I have to pray because you don't realize that it's not that type of disorder. Rheumatoid arthritis is an autoimmune disorder, and it's only one symptom away from lupus. And I had to learn that. I had to realize that this is a little bit more serious than what I left that office thinking. When he told me that I had rheumatoid arthritis, my mind, nurse or no nurse, I don't care. In my mind, I just had arthritis. So I'm saying basically what everybody said to me. Until my mom kept saying, why didn't you tell me you had rheumatoid? Why you didn't tell me this? And then because she kept saying it over and over again, I knew something was wrong. I went home and I had to like look at these pamphlets and look at what was given to me like, oh shoot, I gotta take chemo now? What arthritis you take chemo pills? So I'm like, okay, this is a little bit more serious than I thought. And then I realized that the days that I couldn't get up, the days that my body was just out of it, it was flare-ups. It was days that I had flare-ups. Days when my body was in so much pain that I couldn't sleep. I'll be rocking because when you in so much pain, you don't know what else to do. So I literally be in my bed, like moving and rocking and moving my leg. And then I have something called restless leg syndrome when your leg just keep moving and you have to keep sitting up because your body is so uncomfortable and so restless. You don't know what to do. You don't know what to do. Then I have a dumbass significant other who's get up. You so lazy. You this, you that. Then I have family members who's saying, well, maybe if you get a job, you'll feel better. What the hell you think I left my job for? Because I just wanted to sit at home and be in pain? Like, people don't get it, and they didn't understand. So it went to the point where I was just zoned out. Now, if I was that type of person that wanted to take any type of mood enhancers, and if I wasn't scared to do it, I probably would have been addicted somewhere, drinking or getting high or something, because I just wanted people to leave me alone. I wanted to zone out, and I was tired. I was done. By this time, I already knew how to crochet, so I felt like maybe if I crochet, this will make me feel better. And it did. But it was days where even crochet couldn't help. So the days that crochet couldn't help, I knew something really, really, really was wrong with me. I also, at this point, I said, I'm going to do my own business. All this happened like within the same exact year. Like, my mind just went crazy this year. This was 3 years ago. My mind went crazy. And I said, okay, I'm gonna do this business because I can't live off of the government. I can't do this whole welfare thing. I can't do it. It's not for me. And some people could do it. I can't. I can't do it. I've just always been that hustler and that go-getter to get a job and to work and go to school. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna just do my job. I'm gonna just do what I want to do, work for myself, and keep it pushing. So I started looking into doing my own and saying that I'm gonna do this business. I started doing a little crochet projects here and crochet projects there, getting paid commission projects, and I wasn't finishing them at all. It would take me like 6 months to finish one blanket. Someone would say, I need this by a certain amount of time, and then I would pass the due date and then wonder why they like, I don't want nothing from you no more. It was a bad situation. I was screwing my own self up. I was making it evident that I can do it, but when I get the money, I would take the money and I would spend it because it was times I didn't have nothing and I had to provide for my family. So I would take the money, spend it, way before I even finished the project. By the time I finished the project, I'm stuck back in the same situation again, but I'm not getting no money now because I already spent it. So here I give the product to whoever, and I'm broke again. So then I had to sell myself, right? Not literally my ass, but I had to sell myself to try to make money. Didn't you want this? You said you wanted this scarf, right, girl? I could make this for you. I had to do it to make extra money. It's $422. Just 3-4 years ago, I was getting $422 a month. And that just was not, it wasn't doing anything. I wasn't getting child support. I wasn't getting nothing to help with my boys. So I had to do what I had to do. And I would sell myself. And I felt like because I had to sell myself to these people just to get chump change, because I was selling myself short. I felt like because I was doing that, they was not respecting me. 2, I wasn't respecting myself. 3, I never ever finished in time. Never. And I wasn't happy with my work at all. And because I wasn't happy with my work, I was tired all the time. My customers was not happy. I felt like I didn't want to do this no more. I kind of felt like, well, shit, what's the sense of me doing this if I'm not getting that feedback that I wanted? Then someone said, well, how are you going to get the feedback that you want if you're not putting what other people need? Like, you want to give them a little bit more than what you're giving them. And I'm like, well, I can't do that. I can't do that right now. My mind is not here. I'm not in the right space. So I said, I think this whole business thing is not for me, and I'm not going to do it. And then I had my sister, crochet sister Gail, who would yell at me all the time and always say, you could do it. I know if I could do it, you could do it. And I'm working this job and doing this and doing that, and you could do it. And then I had these people in my ear. I need this, and I know you could do it, and you're Diva, and Diva could do this, and Diva could do that. But that didn't do nothing. That didn't help me. And that didn't wake me up at all whatsoever. I still was stuck in limbo. And I still was in a position of not being able to get to where I needed to go because I wasn't ready. So because I wasn't ready, and I guess I wasn't tired enough, this happened for a good while. I was like that for a good while. I noticed that because I had this I don't care attitude, that my body and my mind, everything was I don't care attitude. I ate stupid. I would go out looking crazy. My hair don't even be made. I'll be wearing like $5 wigs, literally. I ain't even lying. Not embarrassed anymore to tell either. I used to be embarrassed, but I'm not no more because I know I've grown from that. I was jacked up to the point where my sister said someone told her that I looked like a crackhead. That's how bad I looked. I used to wear bandanas on my head, walking outside looking like a hot mess. And I still didn't see or realize I had an issue. I still didn't realize, or maybe I just wasn't tired enough. I wasn't tired enough. Then I knew my aunt would say, I'm at the library and I'm telling everybody that you know how to make these masterpieces and your crochet is good. And we want you to come here and teach everybody how to do this. Meanwhile, this is the same library that I used to go to where they taught me how to crochet, because I'm in my 30s when I learned how to crochet. I had no idea how to crochet until my 30s. So she wanted me to go back to the same place where I learned to teach them what I learned on my own. And I couldn't even do that. I couldn't even give them what they gave me for free. I couldn't because I couldn't get out the bed. I didn't want to. I didn't feel like it. I wanted to lay in the bed, watch TV, Wendy Williams all day, and I could tell you my lineup. I watched Wendy Williams. I watched The View. Then I watched the court shows, the news. It was the afternoon news. Like, I had my lineup from morning to evening. And this was every single day. I lived for Ratchet Monday with Love and Hip Hop, Atlanta, New York. I watched them all. I watched them. Black Ink. I watched them all. And it was like my life, because you know why? Because I was miserable and I was a hot mess, and I felt like watching their hot mess took away from my hot mess. So I was able to be like, girl, she this, she that, she ratchet, she shouldn't have did that, he shouldn't have did that, because it took away from me. And I have no problem admitting that. I spoke last week or the week before that about gossiping and my part that I played in that. And I admit that I played a lot of part in that whole gossiping situation on social media and in the Breathgan community and whatever. And I learned from that as well. Again, I was trying to take the focus off of my crazy ass, off of my life. I did learn from these things that I have this hustle mentality. It was days I had no money. I found ways to make it. Days I didn't know how we was going to eat the next day. I found ways to do that. So I knew it was something in me. Again, I was just too tired to even think about it. I was too worn out and just didn't feel like being bothered. I saw people around me moving, and I stayed stagnant. I saw people going towards their next destination, getting pay increases, getting better jobs, or getting promotions in their jobs that they were already in. And I'm still here, same place, not doing so good. So it really took a toll on me. Do you know what really got me to break out of those bad habits and move on? What made me realize that I'm tired of being sick and tired? The day, well, I'm gonna say night because it happened at night. The night that my significant other at that time, which was my son's father, told me that he did not want to be with me anymore. That night, he said that to me, was like a big hit in my gut. Because here I am about to be 40 years old, and we spoke about getting married. We spoke about moving, getting a house. We spoke about all of these things. And when he said that he doesn't want to get married and he's moving out and he's moving to another state, I was like, and we going, right? Or when you coming back? It didn't process that he was like, no, I'm leaving you. No, you're not. So when you coming back? I swear to you, I kind of zoned it out. I think I really went through some type of psychotic situation. So when you watch the shows, the movies, like A Thin Line Between Love and Hate, I was that thin line. I think I went crazy. I went psycho. I I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed, but I did cross the line and did some psycho stuff. I didn't slash tires or anything because there ain't no tires to slash. I didn't bleach anybody's clothes or nothing like that. I kind of did it in a Shauna way, which was okay. Anyway, what you want for dinner? And he'll say what he want for dinner. What we gonna do later on tonight? What, you want to watch this movie with me? Like as if anything he said never happened. Nothing he said never happened. And I just kept on going. So the whole month of, because this happened in January, like literally January 3rd, I will never forget it. January 3rd, that happened. By the end of January, it was the same thing. Going into February, same situation. And our birthdays is like 3 days apart. So I would say, what we doing for our birthdays? He's like, we're not doing anything. I'm going out. I don't know what you're doing, but I'm going out. And I'm like, uh, we do something every year. Like, what are we doing? I'm not doing anything with you. And I'm like, the hell you are. And I just psychotically went on my life as if whatever he said didn't matter. By the time my birthday came, I decided to give myself a huge party, like for just me and my close people. So I rented a penthouse, and I got a caterer, and I got my own cake and whatever. I did everything. I even made goodie bags for everybody. Like, I had a masseuse, we had the jacuzzi, the pool, like we had all of that, and I paid for everything. I didn't want them to pay for nothing. I paid for everything. And the week before that happened, he told me again, I am really leaving. And I'm actually leaving when Elijah finished school in June. So you got 2 months. And I'm like, who the hell he think he talking to? He ain't going nowhere. But the day I got tired of being tired, and I realized I'm not going to be Shauna running behind this man, was when I saw a Facebook post. Meanwhile, we never did the whole Facebook thing. I don't do Facebook things with my significant others because I don't got time for that. But I don't know what made me do it, but I went on his page and I saw this person. I'm not going to tell y'all what I called her, but I saw this person who had post after post after post of tagging him and putting, like the memes of, this is my special friend, and this is, mine, and her birth sign and his birth sign put together. What is the outcome? Their compatibility. And I'm looking at all of this, and I'm like, this was the day that I was here and he was there. This is like, I'm calculating everything, and I'm looking at the times, the days, and it's going back to where I remember you said you was going here, but I guess you went there. So I realized that he left me way before that January 3rd. He knew his mind was elsewhere way before I even accepted it. And I think also that day made me realize, like, I deserve so much better. I'm looking at this chick and I'm like, well, damn, if you're going to go and be with somebody else, at least let them be better looking. That's how I felt. I'm sorry. I'm going to be real. I just felt like you could have did way better. So then I'm like, well, damn, really? I need to just go and move on. I went and got up the next day, like 6 in the morning, and I went to South Jersey on a train, took a bus. I even went out to eat by myself. My family they don't even know that's where I went. I went in their area where they live, and that's like an hour and a half away from where I live at now. And I went there and I spent the whole day by myself. The whole entire day, I just walked around the park. I went to stores, and I realized I needed to get Shauna back. I needed for Shauna to get herself together because those boys look up to me. And right now they just see their mom sulking, their mom just allowing these things to happen. If they needed sneakers, sometimes I couldn't even get it for them. That was never me. That was never, ever, ever, ever me. I'm always making sure my boys had. And I didn't do that. And I wasn't doing that. So I realized I needed to do that. By the time I came home, it was later on that evening. And that's when stuff just started clicking. I had to see a therapist that week because I was about to break somebody. Not me mentally. I was about to break someone. Like, you got to go. You got to get out. I don't want you in my house. I don't want you near me. I don't want you to do anything for me. I just need you to go. I needed to put myself in a position where I know I'm superior. And then I'm sitting back and I'm thinking, as I'm talking to my therapist, she's saying, what makes you think that you can't go on without this person? Do he pay all the bills? And I'm like, no. Can you pay the bill that he pay? And I'm like, I'm kind of doing it now. Well, what bill do he pay? And I'm like, the cable. So how are you paying all these bills? And I'm like, I don't know. And she's steady looking. Well, she wasn't looking at me because we had the phone conference call, and she's like, you do understand that you was taking care of that household. I didn't realize that. I was just doing it because it was just an automatic thing, taking care of everything that needed to be taken care of. And she said, you don't need him, honey. You don't need him. You are very, very, very independent, and you're very strong, and you could do it by yourself. The thing about this company that my insurance introduced me to is called Able To, and they do everything through the phone, and like if you wanted to do like a Zoom meeting with them or whatever. But the thing I liked about them is they didn't just have the therapist; they also had a coach, and the coach and the therapist told me what I needed to do step by step. And I had my notebook out because I wrote everything they told me. And I realized that if I want to pursue my business and I want to be more financially stable and mentally stable and be able to live up to par so that my kids can have and they could live from example, I had to make these changes. And the one thing, like I said, I loved was how the coach would prep me for my goals. And you don't realize that your goals sometimes cannot be reached because you might hit a mental block. So this is why I love this program, because I started hitting mental blocks, not realizing that I just want to start my business. I just want to keep living life, but you can't. You're stuck because you keep hitting that mental block. So then I have a therapist who helped me pass that mental block. She explained to me that I'm harboring so much feelings from something that happened a while back. I had to deal with that. I had to talk through it. I had to write it out. I had to go through that pain. Because sometimes when we don't go through that pain, we just skip over it. It keeps coming back and keep coming back and keep coming back. So I had to go through that pain. I had to go through the crying. I had to go through the motions of being alone and feeling like I'm 40 years old now. And this was years ago, 3 years ago. I'm 40 years old now and I'm not where I want to be. I don't want 10 years to go by and I'm still saying I'm 50 years old and I don't know. I don't know what's happening with my life. I'm not where I want to be. I didn't want to keep saying that. So I had to make that choice. I'm tired. And I just kept saying, I'm tired. And I'm telling my therapist, I'm tired. I'm just so tired. I don't want to move anymore. I don't want to. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to do that anymore. I'm just tired. My body, my mind, and my soul is tired. I'm crying all the time. I am out of it all the time. I don't even go anywhere anymore because I'm so tired and drained and fatigued, and I didn't even want to eat anymore. I just wanted to sleep the days away and just keep going. I also felt like I was waiting for this magic day that all this stuff was just going to disappear. And I had to explain that to my therapist. Like, I feel like I'm waiting for a day that all of this stuff is just going to magically disappear. And I guess that's the Pisces in me, because I'm thinking of this fairy tale that all this stuff is just going to be a fairy tale and go away, and then I'm going to live the happiest ever after. And it didn't happen. I have to work for it. So just like a lot of people have to start from the bottom up, I felt like I had to do that again with my life. I had to start from the bottom up. I had to start with the new Shauna, because I'm not that old Shauna anymore. I'm the Shauna now who have to adjust with what life has given me. I can't work right now because now I have 10 years without working as a nurse anymore. I don't have my license anymore. I never renewed it. So now I'm like, my nurse's license, my certificates, all of that, I will have to literally go back to school. And I said, I'm not doing that. I actually lost the desire to do that. So where do I want to go from here? Is it really crochet? Is crochet something that I just learned not too long ago, someplace where I really wanted to go? Do I really want to do this? Can I do this? Am I able to make a living crocheting? Am I able to make a living making blankets for people all the time? Can I do it and be able to keep up my bills? I couldn't do it. It was no way physically possible and mentally possible that I can say I am able to make a living crocheting blankets for people. I had to accept that first. The day I accepted that was the day I was able to say, okay, now what? Now what am I going to do? I'm saying I want this business, but can I really do this business if I'm not going to be able to physically make as many blankets as I want to keep up with my bills? Then I started thinking of other things. This whole YouTube thing wasn't even in my mind yet. But a whole year after I realized, yes, I really do want to do a business, but I needed to do the work. I needed to do research. Okay, so let's fast forward. A year after I made the revolution of getting rid of the man that was supposed to be taking care of everything that really didn't. He left. He's gone. I'm in a household and it's just me and my boys. And I'm like, boom, I can actually make something of myself and do something with myself. What am I going to do with myself? So am I going back to school? Am I going to do this? Am I going to do that? I said, I'm going to really do this business, but I'm going to teach. I started teaching graphing. I started teaching how to crochet. I started teaching and try to make a living teaching. Still doing my orders, but teaching how to do this. And I did very well doing that for a good while. I did very, very well. But I felt like it wasn't enough. I needed more. I needed to put more so that I can make it solid. So I know I don't have to worry about nothing else taking me out. After I finished the whole therapy sessions and the coach and the goals and whatever, I realized that I still had a lot more to do than just this business, because it was days I was still tired. I found out that my habit of my TV being in my room and me working in my room, me doing everything in my room was another reason why I couldn't get a lot of sleep, because I'm up. I have the phone in my hand all the time. I'm watching TV all the time. I'm crocheting in my room all the time. So she said, is there another room where you can do that? Get out of that room. Get out the room. Go somewhere else. She even told me to take the TV out of my room. I said, baby steps. I'm sorry. I can't do that. I sleep with the TV on. I couldn't do it. I said, I need baby steps. Please give me baby steps. So I did. I moved everything out the room and I came in here, my living room. So I kind of sort of set up my living room like a little area where I could work at. I had my desk, my yarn behind me and on the side of me. And I actually liked it like that. I loved the fact that I was able to come out my bedroom and go into my room because, again, I'm working from home. So I had to make it so that my bedroom is the place where you sleep and do extracurricular activities, and that's it, nothing else. And that's what she kept putting in my brain. Like, you're not supposed to do anything in your bedroom besides those two things, nothing else. And so I had to keep saying, okay, let me get out this room. And it was baby steps. I had to keep pushing myself because it was some days I just didn't want to come in here. I just wanted to lay down in there. I pushed myself and I just came out, and it got to the point where I just came again, baby steps, right? So I started that, right? Then I realized I'm fat. I am fat. I went to the doctor one day and my mom was with me and she said, 300 and I was like, what you say? You better not say that loud. You better not say that loud. What you say? And then she pointed to what she wrote down. I was like, she lying. Y'all need to fix this scale. I went to another doctor, like maybe a month later. I went to another doctor and that scale said 300 and I was like, dude, this is like 15 more pounds than what the last one told me 30 days ago. What am I doing? What am I doing? What is going on? Yes, I was 347 pounds. 347 pounds. And I couldn't believe it. I really, in my mind, thought they were crazy. I think what made me really realize that it was true is because I went to another doctor and they said the same thing. Okay, it can't be all three doctors wrong. Okay, if it's a duck, I'm a damn duck. And I realized that I need to do something and I need to do it quick. I decided to do on Instagram, I was scrolling and this young lady had this challenge. She was like, you can win $500. Boom, $500? Okay. So I decided to do the challenge. The thing was, I didn't realize how challenging that challenge was. It was not for me. So I think what we don't realize is so many things out there that we say, oh, well, this person did it, so I could do it. And not realizing that some things are just not for you. Some things may need a little bit more tender loving care. I think I needed the tender loving care. I needed a little bit more baby steps. So I decided to opt out of that young lady's, and then I found out that I didn't like how she was running things. I decided to do another challenge. This challenge wasn't $500, but it was still a little like 300 and some products. I decided to do it. I decided to use the product, and my new boyfriend, because I have a new man now, I think it was, and I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I think when I left that last relationship, it was oh my God, I gotta start all over. Nobody is not gonna want me 300 and some pounds. I gotta lose this weight, because how am I gonna find this next person if I don't lose weight? So that's basically my push to lose the weight. Because in my mind, thinking, how am I going to find another significant other, the person that I may want to marry? How can I do that? So I wanted to lose weight. And I now see how crazy it was, but it was my push. It was my um reasonings that I had embedded in my head to get me to move, to get me up and go, to get me up and walk. And I would do it once a day. Again, it was baby steps, because I went from being in the house, sitting down, laying down, sleeping all day long. And then one day I decided I'm going to just go walking. And I knew it was hard for me, because, again, I'm starting off with 300 pounds. So it was hard in the beginning because my back would hurt. My side would hurt. I had to walk super duper slow. I had to keep stopping, but I did not stop at all. No matter how tired I got, how much pain I was in, I just went around that block. And I just went around the whole block. That's it. I went around the whole block and I came home. But each week I would go a little further, to the point where I was going miles, like 2 miles eventually. Then I realized I need to do more than this. So the new man that I had, we went to the gym together. And it got to the point where that was a horrible, horrible experience, with money taken out your account and all. I didn't like that. So I decided to buy stuff home. I realized you could work out at home. And if you don't feel good about your body, or if you can't go out because of the kids, you can exercise at home. Put on the YouTube videos or Instagram videos and work out from your home. I bought a stepper, and I would step with extreme feel on YouTube, and I would do the extreme stepping, and I was doing it for an hour. So I would walk for an hour, sometimes more, and then I would come home and work out for an hour. I realized that my energy started to increase to the point where I was going to bed at a reasonable time. It was like my body and my life was shifting a little bit because I was more active. It also made me want to crochet more. It made me want to do things, whereas before I'd be too tired. But I realized, me going out, I would get up early in the morning. I would go out, I would do whatever I need to do, walk my son to school, take my walk, come in the house, prepare dinner, and go get my son, or watch to make sure he got home okay. And then by the time that evening, after I finished dinner, I would exercise again, I would crochet, and I would go to bed. And I realized that this became a routine. In the beginning, it was rocky, but it became a routine. And the routine, it got me to where I was able to, if I go a day without exercising, it was a horrible day. I had to work out. Even if I didn't take a walk, I would come home and work out. Or even if I, didn't work out at home, I would just take a walk. So it became a habit. It became something that I had to do. I saw the difference. I saw the weight coming off. I saw that I was able to put clothes on that I've never in my life been able to put, in my adult life, been able to put on. So because I saw the difference in my physical appearance, mental, and people kept giving me the praise, it made me keep going more and more and more. People started seeing the difference. People started saying, man, you look real good. Man, even your face is clean and clear, and your eyes are clear. I didn't realize, like, the little things people start seeing. And it was all because of my habit, my changing. I just got tired of looking a mess and feeling a mess. And that, you would think the day that this person told my sister I look like a crackhead, that was the breaking point. No, it just made me sulk. even more. It just made me feel like, what the hell? What's the sense in even doing anything? And it was a man. It was a damn man that pushed me over to the edge and made me want to change for the better. Now, don't judge me. It was something that pushed me over, whereas I could have still been in the same situation. But yeah, it was the man that pushed me over and made me want to move on to bigger and better. And once I did that, being in that relation made me want to exercise and keep pushing and moving. And then the pandemic hit. When the pandemic hit, we got sick early on. My son and I, we got sick the end of March, beginning of April of last year. And when we got sick, we got sick. So I'm telling people, I believe if I didn't get in shape, lose some weight, and start, working out, and my asthma got better and all of that, I don't know what this virus would have done to me if I was still in that stagnant position where I was before, because I couldn't breathe just sitting down. So being in a position of having a virus inside your body and you not knowing what's the next step, I think that helped me. I really believe deep down inside that helped me move on, so that when we did get this virus, it wasn't something that killed us. It was bad. It got to the point where I couldn't even go up the stairs. I couldn't go down the stairs. It took a long time. I'm saying, like, still to this day, we have certain symptoms. It's not as bad. I'm able to work out now. I'm able to exercise now. I wasn't able to do that before. I wasn't able to go up and down the stairs. It was just hard sometimes to get out the bed, because this virus just put something in our body that was like, oh, we were so out of it. Was I able to crochet? Yeah, sometimes I was able to crochet. And the pandemic also allowed me to create this podcast, because I was able to realize that the struggles that I had, my past, and what I had to overcome. And I see so many of us in that same position where we want a business, we want to do this and we want to do that, but stuff is holding us, or we're not able to get to where we want because we want instant gratification. And it always don't work like that. I think also too that in my mind, I wanted to, if I see something of inspiration, I wanted to do that, because I felt like if it's going to make that person popular on social media, it could make me popular. Then I started talking to more people, and then I realized all hype ain't all hype. All that hype, thousands and thousands of followers, it didn't put not one dime in those ladies and men, those gentlemen in the women's pockets. After talking to them, after you know developing relationships with a lot of them, it didn't do a damn thing for their pockets. It was more so for show, more so for their self, just to do it. And I respect them for being honest with me and telling me this, because that's what I want to explain to everybody else. It's not all what you think it is. When people want this business of being a crocheter or a knitter or a dyer or a spinner, it's so much more to it than just crocheting, knitting, spinning, dyeing. It's just so much more to it. And this right here, this outlet of YouTube allowed me to expand my horizons way more than I ever expected. Me talking to other people expands my outlook of this whole entire niche. I realized also that there's so much out there that I didn't even know in this whole little. They don't even put us in a category of a career. You understand what I'm saying? You can't say, "Oh, I'm under the category of crochet." There's no such thing. So that made me feel some type of way as well. Like, is this just fantasy? Is this just like, but then there's so many people out there who do make good money. And I mean like 6-figure money. I see it. I saw it. And that's what made me say, well, if she could do it, I know I could do it, because I've always been a hustler and I've always been able to think and process things a little bit different. When I speak to those who are making 6 figures, maybe even 5 figures, when I speak to them and I explain my process and my ways of trying to fulfill my business, they look at me like, girl, I didn't even know that. And then you're like, how you don't know that and you making all of this money? You don't realize how your ideas can impact somebody else. And you may think, because I know I did, I may have thought that because they're making all this money, they knew this or they knew that, or that they are doing this a different way, when in reality they're just doing the best thing that they know how to do at that time. Because again, there's no right or wrong way of making this a business. There's no right or wrong way. There's no right or wrong way to crochet. There's no right or wrong way to do all of that. So I just find it so interesting when people say, I can't believe you did that. How are you doing this? How are you making money so quickly? How are you? I always been a hustler. I'm always able to find a way to make sure my boys are good, make sure I'm good. I'm always finding a way. I've always been, and in nothing illegal either, because I'm such a scaredy cat. I can't do jail. I'm a scaredy cat. So I try to do everything the right way and the legal way. What brings me to the platform that's a little bit different than others is graph games. Because I've been doing it for such a long time now versus someone who's just starting, I think that's what helps me a little bit more as well, because I'm in a position where I'm able to do something that people are still learning and people want to learn. So I think that helps me. But that don't mean that I'm staying there, right? Like, you don't want to just stay there. So this is why I do way more things. I do at least 8 different things to bring in a source of income in order for us to have the roof over our heads and lights. And it's hard. It's so hard. It's days where I slip back into that. I don't want to wake up. I don't want to move. I don't want to cook today. I don't want to do nothing. I don't even want to be a mother. I just want to be Shauna and just lay the hell down and not do nothing. It's a lot of days I do get in that mood. But you want to know something? Because I started building this and I see the growth and I see that I am stepping into where I need to be, I can't do that for so long. I have to get up and do something, because then I feel like I'm wasting my day away. So again, habit. I switched the habit. So before, the habit used to be laying down, not doing anything, and just sleeping the day away, to where now I can't do that, because I feel like a day that I'm in that bed sleeping the day away is a day that I could have built my business higher. and completed things that I needed to complete. That's in my goals. That's in my book. The purpose that I have, the purpose that you have. I love helping other people get to where they want to go because I know you can do it and I know that it's in you. It's just that you need a way to get it out. And I had to go through all these little steps to get me from being just tired, like sick and tired of just being sick and tired. You know where that phrase came from? I had to look that up. The phrase of being tired, sick and tired of being sick and tired came from Fannie Lou, what is it? Fannie Lou Humor or Hamer? Hammer. Fannie Lou Hammer. It came from her, the activist, the black lady who wanted to vote. She wanted to vote and they wouldn't let her vote. They kept saying, you have to do this in order to vote. She did it. You have to do that in order to vote. She did that. And she had to do all these things just to get to vote. And then they still didn't want her to vote. They didn't want black people to have power. And she said, I'm just tired. I'm so tired. And we get that way. You know, we get to the point where we're just tired and we just want things to be handed to us. But you want to know one thing that I learned? I learned that if it was handed to me, would I appreciate it? Would I really, really, really appreciate the fact that I went through hell and back again, and I'm able to appreciate the time I'm putting in, appreciate the mental capacity that I am now, appreciate others who say I inspired them or, can you help me? I have so much more gratitude. I'm so much more humble than I would have been if I didn't go through all of the storm. I told my son when he graduated that we've been through the storm. Then I said, no, 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 no. We went through the hurricane. We went through a lot. We was homeless, not once, not twice, but 3 times. And it wasn't because I wasn't doing what I needed to do. It was just I was getting beat up on top of beat up on top of beat up, left and right, right and left. And I believe it's because I did not need to be stagnant. I am just not that girl that needs to be sitting around collecting money. I am the chick that needs to get my ass up and do something and make something of myself. Yeah, I went to school and I did all of that to be a nurse. But damn it, right now, I'm not that nurse. But I am a crocheter. I am a mentor. I am a designer. I am Shauna, CreativeStitchNDiva now. And I worked to get to there. I can actually say I went through all of that to be where I'm at today. So I also found that I'm always talking about law of attraction. And I just was telling my one of my club sisters today, law of attraction, because she is a go-getter too. She's a Pisces like me. She's a go-getter. She's a hustler. But is one thing that kept stopping her from a lot of things is because a lot of things didn't happen the way she wanted it to happen. It was stopped because she would think negatively. And I had to say, like, you have to keep thinking positive. If it didn't happen, it's because it's not meant to happen. I had to learn that. When I was supposed to move this past September, I was supposed to be in a house. I was supposed to be away, South Jersey, and it didn't happen. And I was so mad. I was so mad. But then I realized I wasn't meant to be in that place. He has something bigger and better for me. I'm just waiting and I'm patient. And I told her that. And then, like, not even 2 hours later, we wound up getting the clubhouse that we need, that we deserve, that we manifest. I never even knew that word manifest until like 2 years ago. I manifest my life the way it is now. I manifest the things that I have now. I manifest my healthy mind now. The mind that I know that I'm able to think clearly now and not think how I'm going to do something to destroy somebody, because I've been there, done that too. I'm in a spot where I am happy. I don't have to have millions. Of course, I want millions, but then again, I don't, because I feel like not all money is good money. I just want to be comfortable enough to be able to say my bills are paid. We could go get things that we need and we could do things that we want, and we're still good and happy. And I can honestly say that we are at that point now. My son, my boys, and I, when he graduated last Sunday, I had to say to myself, is this where I wanted to be? Is this where I thought I would be when my son graduated college? It's not exactly where I wanted to be, but it's not where I don't want to be either. And that's where we have to get ourselves to. So when you become sick and tired and just so sick and tired, how else are you going to wake up? How else are you going to be in a place where you need to be at peace? And to be able to wake up and be like, oh, thank you. I'm in a good space now. I'm in a good area in my mind where my mind is able to be free. And you don't have to worry about the monkey on your back, or you don't have to worry about these bills are coming at me and I don't know what else to do. I don't have to worry about that no more, because I handle mine. And not only do I handle it, because I manifest this life, this abundant life, things just come to me. I don't know how to explain that part, but it do. It just comes. I could say, my sister says, don't say you're broke, because you're not broken. You're never going to be broken. If you keep saying that, you're going to be broke. And I kept saying it because it's a habit. I'm a creature of habit. Then one day I said, you know what? I'm going to stop saying it. And so instead of saying broke, I say I'm temporarily out of funds. Do you realize, like, the next day I get, it could be a day or two later, I get. It could be a situation, my son's first year in college. He was $10,000 short. I didn't know how we was going to get $10,000. And then I prayed on it. I let it go. And I'm like, it's going to be fine. He's not going nowhere. Because it was like, if he doesn't pay this, he got to leave school. He wasn't going nowhere. I wrote a letter to the financial aid office, and I wrote a letter to the president of the whole entire school. And I explained my situation. And I explained, we don't have $10,000. They paid his whole entire $10,000 tuition. So his first year was paid for by his school. Again, it was because I decided to make sure my son don't have to worry about that part. I decided to, they could only say no, or they can help you. You just have to ask. My son also had good grades. My son was in the football team, and he never had any behavioral problems. So it was a win-win situation all around. That's all you have to do is ask. That's it. And that's what I did. I asked, and he got it. His whole entire first year was paid for. And that right there just proved to me that we gonna be fine. We all gonna be right. That was his first year in college. Here it is. He's finished college, and we are so blessed. We are blessed. It may not be where everything that I want or everything I feel like I need, but how about this? If I don't have what I feel we need, I'm getting it. I'm gonna hustle and get it. There's no way I'm ever gonna say I can't get this or I can't get that. Oh, I don't want to get this. Oh, I don't want to do this. No. I'm not in that space no more. There's no way in hell you're gonna say anything to Shauna about I can't. I don't like that word. That don't work well in my house. My boys know that. We don't say that. That's a bad word. That's a cuss word in this house. Don't ever tell me you can't, because you can. In order for us to put ourselves in a position where we want to be, who else is going to give it to us but us? How else are you going to get there? Everybody wants to be that boss lady or that boss man, and they want to be able to travel and do this and do that. How are you going to do that if you don't get up and move and do it? You have to do it. You have to walk before you can run. And I had to crawl, then walk, and then ran. So don't say you can't. Never, ever, ever, ever say you can't. Baby steps. And that's what I did. Baby steps. Everything was like, even when I started losing the weight, you cannot tell me I wasn't having no cheesecake. You can't tell me I wasn't getting my favorite sweet potato pie during the holidays. You can't tell me that, because I did it and still was able to lose weight. I just did it in moderation. I realized that instead of having that whole goddamn sweet potato pie by myself that I really didn't eat, I had one slice. And to be honest with you, once I started that weight loss, the weight loss stuff, I realized that I really didn't want the other sweet potato pie, or I may just want half of the half and save the other later, because I feel like it would mess with my body internally, because I'm hyping my body up and changing my body and making it more healthier. So when you put something in you, it kind of doesn't work in your favor anymore. I don't know if I'm explaining it right, but I'm telling you how I felt, and I'm telling you exactly what happened. It was not overnight, but eventually it became to the point where if I had that cheesecake that I wanted, I couldn't eat it all. And then my body just felt different, and I felt sluggish. And I'm like, oh no, I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't do that. And it's because I trained my body to be different. Once you do that, see, these are all baby steps that I had to take. And it did not take overnight. It took within like 6 months to a year. But once I started changing that, the eating habits and the sugary stuff, I realized also that my energy got better. I was able to do more during the day. I was able to crochet more. I was able to fit in this my podcast. I was able to fit in classes. I was able to fit in things that I could not do in the past because I'll be too tired. So once you start changing your habit, changing your ways for the better, you have the same amount of hours that we all have. So how is it that this person is able to do way more than you when you have maybe one full-time job and you come home, and somebody else might have one full-time job, one part-time job, and a side hustle, and you wondering, how the hell is she able to do that? Because I changed my habits and my ways so that I'm able to have more time during the day, because I'm not going to wake up at 11 o'clock in the morning and expect to start my day at 11 o'clock in the morning when I should have started my day at 7 o'clock in the morning. So here it is, 4 or 5 hours that you're sleeping when you could be up starting your day, and then you can go to bed at a decent hour and you can still get up and do what you need to do. But to be honest with you, I only need no more than 5 to 6 hours of sleep. That's only if I'm doing what I need to do and exercising and eating better. If I'm not, then I'm just real sluggish and I can't. But as long as I'm able to exercise, eat better, my day is better. My body feels better. The pain that I get from my RA, my rheumatoid arthritis, is not as bad. I get pain, don't get me wrong, I still get pain, but it's not as bad. It's not to the point where I just can't move out of the bed and I'm sluggish. And I realized also that my flare-ups started to decrease. my flare-ups is not as much as it was before. I used to get flare-ups like every other week. Now it's like every other month. I'm getting it every now and then. It's not like how it was before. So it's only because I made those baby steps, and those baby steps started to get bigger and better. And I love my life. I love my freaking life. I love it. I love, 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 love how I'm able to wake up and be refreshed. My boys are good. They're alive. And I could call my friends. I could say, I don't say good morning anymore. I say rich rising now. Why? My words are powerful. Your words are so powerful. You speak it into existence. When we say good morning, I don't think people realize, but we're saying good grief. Morning is grief. You're mourning. We're not mourning. We're not mourning anyone. Why they say good morning, I have no idea. But it's a habit. We don't realize it's a habit. We're saying to each other good grief. So I stopped. So I say rich rising now. We're rich and we're rising. And I keep saying it over and over every day. People think I'm crazy. I don't care. Because what are you doing versus what I'm doing? I don't care. I'm going to keep saying it. You think I'm crazy? Keep thinking I'm crazy. You're going to think I'm crazy when you see me on them magazines and them commercials, and you're going to still think I'm crazy? Okay. It's okay. It's all right. But we are motivated by things like avoiding pain and seeking pleasure. Almost every decision that we make is based on those two principles, pain and pleasure. So you're only going to do what's going to give you pleasure. Eating bad stuff gives you pleasure because it's good. Doing things easily to get it done, pleasure. The things that cause us pain, exercise. You don't want to do a lot of it because it's going to cause us pain. Anything that causes mental pain, we don't want to go past it. So we skip it and we stay stagnant because it's painful. We have to learn how to go through it. We have to learn how to realize what's actual pain, what's actual pleasure. And we could actually make it so that the pain is not so painful and the pleasure is a little bit more pleasurable. And a lot of people don't know how to do that. No, a lot of people don't know how to break it down. I had to learn how to do that. It's very important to note that pain and pleasure can be broken down into like short terms. And that's like the like short pain, long-term pain, short pleasure, long-time pleasure. If we could go through the short amount of pain, get through that short pain, it'll be a long time worth of pleasure. We have to realize that. I had to realize that. Getting up and doing that walk in so much pain, my back, my legs be hurting. By the time I get home, my hands, because my RA starts flaring up, so my hands be swollen. They swollen now because I exercised right before. My hands are swollen and my feet are swollen. But I know eventually, the more I keep doing this, the more I keep going, it's gonna go away. It's gonna be fine, and I wouldn't have to worry about this all the time. So if I have to go through that short amount, we good. As long as I go through that short amount, we good. And I think that is it. I done told y'all my story. I done hit things that I never wanted to hit ever again. I never wanted to talk about these things. But I did it because I know that it may help that person that's in that stagnant position, that person that wants the business, that wants to crochet to bring in extra money, or to have a whole entire income come from crocheting, these things have to be said. These things have to be endured in order to move on. We keep going on social media and we see all of our favorite artists and our favorite inspirational crocheters. They are the ones who inspire us to say, I want to do this business. I'm going to get there. I'm going to be this person. I'm going to be like that person. Not realizing that they're going through the same thing. They're going through a lot. It's just that you only see the good things. You see what they're posting. You're not seeing what they're going through. And that's why I did this. That's why I love doing this podcast, to show people. And I didn't want you to just hear it from me. And this is why I started inviting other people, and so that they can explain their habits and how they got to where they are. And if you didn't listen to a lot of those, go listen to them, because they are not telling you everything that you want to hear. They're telling you the truth. A lot of them don't even make money doing this. Actually, none of them. None of them make money doing this. None of them make money doing this. And I respect them for saying that, because I once too went online and I said, oh, look at Little John. Look at this. I see she's doing great. I know she's making all this money, because look at how many people that watches her videos. And then we hooked up. Actually, she hooked up with me. And when she hooked up with me, and we started speaking, and she's very, very, very honest with everything. She even gives like a report. And she actually said, I'm not making a lot of money. I had to do this. I had to do that. And she had to do different things and hard work to get where she's at now. And she was just able to leave her job after 3 years. So this is hard work. It's a lot of work you have to put into it. But if you really, really, really want it, and you really want to work for yourself, and you really want to be able to say, I'm going to do this, you have to go through the good and the bad. I'm not even gonna lie. Last week, and I think the week before that, I didn't want to do this. I didn't want to do this anymore. I started getting tired. I felt like I'm doing this and it's not benefiting anyone. It's not benefiting me. I don't get a lot of money for this. I get kibbles and bits for this. The research that I was doing, the outpouring that I would do of my life, the transparency I would say about the stuff that I went through. I don't get dollars. I literally get cents, like 10 cents. For every single 30 minutes that you guys watch this, I get 10 cents. And it's not a lot of money at all. So it's like, do I really want to keep doing this? But I realized there's a lot of people out there on YouTube land that was in the same position, and they just kept going. Even if I get 2 people watching, they still kept going, because eventually you start hitting the right people, and eventually everything that you're saying, it starts clicking and people start watching. And I had to realize that. I had to realize that people send me messages all the time. You inspire me. If it wasn't for your story, I wouldn't know what to do. And that is what made me say, okay, I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep going. I didn't know what to do with the graphing classes. It got to the point where I'm like, well, I don't want to do that no more, because I feel like nobody's not going to want to learn. Nobody's is not going to want to devote their time and energy to it. And then you have somebody say, I enjoy, your graphs, and I really want to learn. So, like I said, even if it's one person or 2 people, I would do it for you. And I would keep going, because I know someone will be able to benefit off of my transparency, and me not just coming on here saying everything that I accomplished and not what I had to go through to get to where I'm at now. Because it was hard. And it almost, like, as I'm talking, it almost brought me to tears. Because I'm like, do people really appreciate the fact that I literally went through this? And I'm not really talking about you guys. I'm talking about the people around me and the people that I speak to on a daily basis. Do they appreciate the fact that I'm always that person that's there for them? And I'm that person that makes sure that I'm there and I can help you. And if you want a business and you tell me I'm really, really, really serious and I want a business, I'm going to help you and I'm going to be there for you and I'm going to guide you. And whatever I can do, I'm there. But do they really appreciate that? I had to think about that. Am I really helping somebody? And I just had to keep going and do what I had to do because it is someone out there. It may not be now, it may be later on, but I know I can definitely help somebody. So someone who had breast cancer in their 20s, been homeless 3 times in their 30s, 2 kids, 10 years apart, toxic relationship. All of these things, the autoimmune disorder, I have fibromyalgia, I had to leave my career. All of these things taught me taught me that I am a warrior, and no matter what, ain't nothing gonna stop me. Nothing. I'm gonna just keep on going and do what I need to do because I still got some goals, y'all. I still got some goals, and I'm gonna get there. Write them down. I used to always be that person that writes stuff down and never looked at it again. Never look at it. I have books on top of books of just writing stuff down and never looked at it. And then my therapist and my coach helped me so that each day I kind of, like, baby steps, I look at my book every day. Every day. You write something and you look at it. I even look at, like, maybe what happened 2 years ago. Today, 2 years ago. Today, 2 years ago. Where was I? What was I doing? I was not in a good spot. So I had to look at stuff like that. I had to look, last year, what was I doing? I was still sick. I couldn't smell anything. I couldn't taste anything. I couldn't move. So just appreciate your life and what it is, what you have. You may say, oh, I'm always sick. I have this disability. I have this, I have that. But it's always somebody out there who has less than you or going through something worse than what you're going through. So just believe that if they can do it, you can do it. If we are not put on this earth to have everything given to us, like, real easy, we really do have to work for what we want. And you want to know something? It's hard, but it's doable. It's definitely doable. We could do it. You want to go back to school? Go back to school. Do what you got to do. Make it happen because you can do it. I had so many people that I went to high school with, elementary school with, that right now they went back to school. Right now. I thought that was so dope. It doesn't matter how old you are. I don't care if you're 60 years old. You want to go back to school? Go back to school. Do what you got to do. That's for you. Even if you know you're not going to do anything in that career, but it's something that you're doing because you want to do it, do it. Do it. I respect people who do that. I'm good. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate everyone. If you want to be a member, press join and become a member of the Diva Squad. There's 3 different levels. Check us out. I'm doing way more bigger things that's coming in, especially for June. We getting it going. If you did the nurse challenge or the MS challenge, the last days are coming up tomorrow. So I need that in And then we're gonna go for June. We're gonna tomorrow we're gonna tell you what we're gonna do for June, and the next challenge is gonna be, and we're gonna go from there. Also, if you want to be a part of the crochet retreat, we're gonna have a crochet retreat in August. It's gonna be a small amount of us. It's not gonna be a lot. But if you want and you're interested and you want to get more details, hit me up and check me out so that I can give you more details on the crochet retreat. It's gonna be the bomb. I'm trying to get a chef. It's gonna be in Atlanta. If you're in the Atlanta area, check us out. If not, I'm in New Jersey, but we still going to Atlanta, and we're gonna go to Atlanta and we're gonna have a ball, okay? Y'all know me. I'm fun. We're gonna have a ball. I'm gonna get a masseuse. I'm gonna get a chef. I want to get a house with the pool. Like, I want the works for us because we deserve it. We deserve it. We went through a lot, right? This whole year, we went through a lot. You want to go to this crochet retreat? I'm actually trying to raise money. So June 25th, we're going to be selling double good popcorn. And we're raising money for the crochet retreat because there's so many of us that want to go, but we can't financially. We're still in the pandemic and money is kind of hard. So we're going to raise money so that this crochet retreat is affordable. So hit me up. I'm going to make it happen. Any means necessary. For those who want to go and may not be able to, hit me up because that's what we're doing it for. We're doing it for you because I've been there. And I got tired of seeing everybody, we're going here, we're going there. And I couldn't do it because I couldn't afford it. We ain't about that. This is a collaboration. We are all family. We're helping each other. So if you want to go and you're interested, hit me up and we'll talk about it. So if you want to go, let me know. And if you want to be a part of the Diva Squad, click that join button and you have all of the descriptions right there. And tomorrow, Mentor Monday, hit me up. Come back here, 7 p.m. I'm going to show you something tomorrow. I am going to design a bag. And I'm going to use a Graphcan. I'm so excited. So I'm going to show you guys how to do a Graphcan bag. And that's it. Tuesday goes to my Diva Squad. So if you're a part of the Diva Squad, Tuesday is for you. I am catering to you and only you. So if you have any questions of learning how to graph, hit me up so that we could talk about that for your day on Tuesday. And that's it. Any other questions or anything you want to talk about, hit me up. I'm about to go watch TV and crochet. Have a good night. See you tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern Time.